Welcome once again to Vlog. I am your host. Today, I'll be taking another look at Genshin Impact. This time, I'll be taking a look at Genshin Impact 2 on the PlayStation 5. I know that the last time I sounded pretty defeated. I was just kind of done with all the silliness of the random minigames, and I wanted to see Lumine finally do her job as a hero, or at least just progress the story a little bit. To Lumine, it's not so much about saving the world, it's more about the girlfriends that she makes along the way. Genshin Impact 2 is a pretty substantial update. It adds a new region, and it sees Lumine finally going to Japan to continue her quest to save the world. I think there's something about her brother. What was it? Oh, yeah, she has to find her brother, but not before she dates all the pretty girls in the world. Then she'll find her brother, but not before she gets married, divorced, remarried, divorced again, before finally realizing that Paimon was her one true love after all. After that, she'll find her brother. Maybe. Probably not. I suspect he'll find Lumine when he finally gets tired of waiting. So they added some new islands, some new bosses, brought back the boat mechanics from the last update, and added a whole lot of new story quests. I really do like the new region, and there's so much to explore. Even after beating the story quest, there's still a lot for me to do, and this review is probably going to be a little long, just because there's so much that actually happens. I played the game on my PlayStation 5, and the new update added a whole bunch of stuff for PlayStation users. For starters, there's a whole new set of trophies to earn. Oddly enough, you can still double dip, so you can get rewarded for double trophies just for logging into both PlayStation versions of the game. From a technical aspect, the PlayStation 5 version is much more stable than it was in the past. In prior versions, the game would load super fast, but sometimes the textures wouldn't load with it. This has been greatly reduced in Genshin Impact 2. The biggest addition for PlayStation users is the ability to create or link a MiHoYo account, so you can play the game on your iPhone, iPad, Android, or Windows PC. For some reason, it still doesn't have official support for the Apple Macintosh, even those with Apple Silicon. I think MiHoYo may have forgotten about the Nintendo Switch. I have an older iPhone, the 11 Pro Max, and I was pretty impressed with how the game ran on the phone. It looks really good, it runs great, and the load times are actually a little bit faster than they were on my PlayStation 4 Pro. The only major problem that I had was with the touch controls, and those were really bad. I know phone users have given MiHoYo over $1 billion to gamble for female in-game characters, but for me it was such a bad experience with the touchscreen that I just didn't get why anyone would spend anything. I can also use a controller, including the PlayStation controllers, and I was able to set that up on my iPad Pro, and it's like having a portable PlayStation. It just works really, really well. The only downside to crossplay is if you're into the whole gambling aspect of the game, is that due to the deal that Sony and MiHoYo came up with, is that you're unable to use the gambling tokens purchased on the PlayStation on other platforms, as well as being unable to use the gambling tokens purchased on the other platforms on the PlayStation. So if you buy a bunch of tokens on the iPhone, you have to use them on your iPhone. Or I think you could also use them on PC. Now you still get to use those characters that you win, so I really don't think it's all that big of a deal. Especially since I think spending money in this game is really dumb, and no one should do it for any reason. Now if you do, that's your choice, but that's just my opinion. Basically, Sony just didn't want people to buy all the gambling tokens on other platforms while playing mostly on the PlayStation, or for them to be undercut by MiHoYo with direct sales. Also, as part of the deal, PlayStation users will get a free character and weapon in version 2.1, and that character will become available on other platforms in version 2.2. Now that we got all the technical stuff out of the way, the most important part of Genshin Impact for me is the story. Now, this update started pretty slow, but it started to pick up near the end. I'll be doing some spoilers with a poor retelling of the story from what I can remember. So again, spoilers. You have been warned about the spoilers, so don't complain to me if you get spoiled by the spoilers. Spoilers. All right. You've been warned about the spoilers. It's finally time. Lumine is going to Japan. In Genshin Impact, Japan just so happens to be pronounced Inazuma. So the pirate girl from the last update finally takes Lumine on her boat to Inazuma so Lumine can chase Japanese girls. I mean, save the world. Once there, you learn about the wonders of customs and bureaucracy. The custom agent tries to overcharge you, but a horny boy that you meet convinces them to charge you a reasonable rate. Now, how does he do it? Well, he's very persuasive, and he also has horns, and he's also, I guess, people would find him to be very pretty. So, the big problem in Inazuma is this thing called the Vision Hunt Decree, where the lightning goddess of Japan doesn't like people who have stones, so she has to castrate them and put them on a rock. Why? I mean, it's never quite explained, but maybe we'll learn why she's doing it in Genshin Impact 2.1. Either way, I suspect Lumine is going to forgive her regardless because it's obvious that the lightning goddess is going to be very, very pretty. Basically, when a person is castrated and lose their vision, they get all depressed and stuff. However, before you can meet the lightning lady, you have to first help some people pay their taxes. I know that all the kids love paying their taxes and can't wait to pay taxes in a fantasy action role-playing game. Now, I kinda zoned out at that part, but eventually you somehow uncover some corruption in the Japanese government and you have to journey to a Starbucks. Once there, you meet a very good boy. He's a dog, but you cannot pet him. Which gets me to a big problem that I have with this game, and one that I've had for over a year. Now, why can't I pet the good boys and girls in the game? Genshin Impact has been out for quite some time, so just let me pet the dogs and cats. Now, this dog has a little suit and everything. Also, where are the ponies? They have all of this equine stuff, but they have no horses and no ponies. It just makes no sense. Then a girl from behind a curtain asks Lumine to help her out by joining her resistance. But since Lumine can't tell if the girl is hot or not, she refuses. Lumine just wants to have a rendezvous with the pretty lightning lady, and the girl from behind the curtain promises to help Lumine with that castrated people who are super depressed about the whole thing. So Lumine helps out the castrated people like the mysterious lady behind the curtain asked her to, and when Lumine comes back to the Starbucks, the lady reveals herself as Ayaka, and you know what? She's really cute. Lumine would totally overthrow the Japanese government if it meant that she could date Ayaka. Then Ayaka talks or something, I don't know. Lumine was distracted by her hotness. But Ayaka asks Lumine to break someone out of prison or something, so Lumine obviously accepts. To break whoever it is out of the prison, Lumine has to enlist the help of a fire girl with an explosive personality named Yoimiya. Yoimiya likes to blow stuff up. So Lumine and the new fire girl break into prison. They beat up and kill a bunch of guards before setting off a bunch of explosions. It really didn't take much for Lumine to turn into an insurgent. A couple of pretty girls crack her a smile, and then she's all about overthrowing the Japanese government. And Lumine and Yoimiya find whoever it is that they're supposed to be breaking out, and they run into the hot prison guard, who just lets them go. I'm not sure if it's because she's scared to fall into Lumine's harem, or if it's because she doesn't want to mess with the people who just blew up a police station. So that's the first part of the story. There's then a bit of an interlude where Lumine dates the hot ice girl and the fire girl. The first girl that Lumine dates is Ayaka. Ayaka is a pretty ice girl who comes from a wealthy family. And Ayaka wants to get a pretty dress to mark this occasion, but since Japan is super oppressive in this story, they can't get any silk from Liyue. So Lumine helps out and they go on a quest to get Ayaka a dress. After Lumine helps Ayaka get her dress, Ayaka invites Lumine out to dinner. Ayaka tries to help cook something for Lumine, but it causes a disaster in the kitchen. So Lumine has to intervene and introduces Ayaka to pizza, and they ended up having a pretty good date. At the end, Ayaka gives Lumine a hairpiece. And after their first date, Lumine and Ayaka learn some stuff about Ayaka's mom, and then Ayaka invites Lumine to go to a festival. The two girls get matching fox masks, and they have a pretty good time. At the end of the night, Ayaka performs what I can only describe as a mating dance.
Oh, Traveler. Huh? There's something that I'd like to do. If you could spare me yet another moment. Please, keep your eyes on me.
And, well, it's okay, Ayaka. What can be said? It was her first time. It's okay if you're a little nervous. The next girl Lumine takes out is a fire girl named Yoimiya. She's a good girl, so the first thing Yoimiya wants to do is introduce Lumine to her father. Lumine and Yoimiya then go blow some stuff up. They then help a fugitive make amends with a friend or something like that, and they end up with their time together watching the fireworks.
Oh, it's... Keisuke.
So Yumiya, these fireworks, what do they mean to you? Yumiya? Shh. Huh? Oh.
So that was the interlude. I thought the ice girl was a little more interesting than the fire girl, but to each their own. Lumine clearly likes them both. So after the dates, Lumine goes back to the Starbucks, and the dog seems to be pretty flummoxed. Lumine just assumes that the horny boy is playing a trick on them, But Ayaka comes and lets them know that the hot lightning lady has captured their pretty Japanese boy to take his stones. Ayaka tries to go herself, but Lumine intervenes and ensures her that she will do it. Lumine gets to the ceremony. She finally lays her eyes on the lightning goddess for the first time. The lightning goddess is very pretty, and you know what? And her name is, it's Ball? Her name is Ball. She castrates people, and her name is Ball. Isn't that a little on the nose, don't you think? Anyway, Ball also has this magical sword that comes out of her. Wait. Hold up a minute. Did she just take a sword out of her boobs? Now, I'm not a woman, but is that how boobs work? I'm pretty sure boobs don't work that way. Do women typically hide swords in their boobs? Please let me know in the comments if you're a young lady. But if you are a young lady, please don't try to store a sword in your boobs. Putting a sword in your chest is likely to cause serious injury or death, so please don't do that. This is just a video game. It's not real life. Boob swords are not a thing. So anyway, as Balla is about to take the horny boy's balls, Lumine catches them in midair. Ball, upset with the ball interception, is impressed that Lumine can use superpowers without a set of balls of her own. So Ball battles Lumine to the death for the captured balls, and not only is Ball super hot, but she's also really tough. Like, it's impossible to beat Balls of Lightning. You just kind of have to outlast her. And at the end, Lumine gets spanked, like really, really hard, to the point that she could barely stand, and I'm sorry.
Wake up, wake up!
But it's pretty clear that she liked it because she's Lumine. So Lumine then flees the city with the Horty boy, and she ends up joining the insurgency to overthrow the Japanese government. She does some stuff until the other lady from before comes and challenges Lumine to a battle of honor, where Lumine just kills a bunch of guys one by one before the Japanese lady gets pissed off and the real battle begins. The pirate lady returns to the battle with the pretty Japanese boy from before, and Ball's forces retreat. And I guess that's pretty much it if I can remember it all right. And I don't know, but I thought it was all right. Such a negative portrayal of Japan was a little jarring, though. I mean, I know that MiHoYo is Chinese, and that China and Japan don't exactly have a very positive history, but it was still pretty unexpected. I mean, a lot of stuff happened in Genshin Impact 2. So much that I captured a lot more footage of this version than any other version before now. It's still a little frustrating that there's no way for me to support this game outside of gambling. But I guess they don't really need me in order for them to make over $1 billion. Since I've stopped caring about new characters, I've collected over 20,000 of those gem things. I probably could have collected more, but I'm not really doing the dailies all that much. My new goal now is to collect 32,400 of those gem things, which is the equivalent of $500 in gambling tokens. Why? I don't know. It just seems like something to do. I guess the best way I can describe Genshin Impact is that it's like a very anime MMO if the monthly fees were replaced by gambling and you don't really have to deal with a bunch of other people. It's just kind of a weird game, but I do finding myself enjoying it. I mean, I think. Honestly, I've played it for this long. I kind of just want to see where the story ends. Assuming it ever ends. I'm not really sure how gacha games like this work in that regard. So, is Genshin Impact 2 any good? I mean, I guess. Should anyone actually play it? Probably not. There's no telling when it's going to actually end, and many people have gotten tempted by the gambling aspect. I kind of think it would have been better to play a standard RPG with a clear endgame. Now, I saw a dude spend $2,000 just to get one character in this version of the game. For that money, he could have got a Sega Saturn, a RetroTink 5X with a SCART cable, Magic Knight Grey Earth, and still have some money left over. I asked permission to show the video of this, but I never heard back. I don't want to use his image without permission, so I just encourage you to seek out a few of some of these poll sessions, as I think the kids call them now on the YouTubes. I know that they say that they're doing it as part of their job, but the look of agony on their faces doesn't look like they're having any fun. To me, video games are about having fun, and if you're not having fun, then what is it that you're doing? What's even worse is that there are some people who are doing this for no other reason than they want to. It's just perplexing to me, and I don't get it. Now, I don't dislike Genshin Impact. In some ways, I really like it, and I think it's a really good game, but the model in which it sustains itself is just pretty bonkers to me. Genshin Impact 2 didn't really change my feelings in that regard, but at least the story finally advanced. Arguably, the best way to play a game like this is to play the story missions, get to the end, and wait for whenever the next version of the game comes out. For Genshin Impact 3, that'll be sometime next year. I've mainly just been playing for the story missions as they come out and ignoring most of the events because I just don't care. So, those are just my thoughts about Genshin Impact 2. These are just my thoughts based on my experiences with this game, and it should not be considered an endorsement of the aforementioned product. I'm free to play, but I've got no special codes or anything from MiHoYo or anything like that. Everything I've done is throughout the course of normal gameplay, using stuff that's available to everyone. Thank you again, and I hope you have a wonderful day.